I'd like to find the road we roam together, swinging along, finding the long way home. We didn't mind the time or place or weather, singing a song, finding the long way home. Remember, I used to sigh at the end of each day, dear.
What is happening, house lovers and explorers? Alright, today's video is one that I wanted to do as a nice tribute, as while I was getting some extra footage of this old Edwardian villa, I was lucky enough to bump into the family members of one of the former and long-time owners. So after chatting with them in front of the home here on South Road, Glandore, and via social media, Charlene has been kind enough to give a very personal recollection of her memories and the family history attached to this home, which I thank her for. Also, from a single photo of one of the home's fireplaces that I posted on my Facebook page, the most recent owner of this home, Stuart, recognised it and was able to share his fondness and appreciation of the home as well, and its old charm, which I will elaborate more on as the video goes. Now, some of my regular Adelaide viewers will probably already know that this home was one of the homes lost at Glandore to make way for the Torrens to Darlington Tunnel project. Yes, unfortunately it was demolished in June of 2023. And it was one of the first to be cleared on this section of Glandore that has now completely been erased. So my explore and documentation of this old gem took place about 5 months before the demolition, with the home still being fully intact. So what I'll do now is give a little bit of the home's early history as we lead into the explore. Then towards the end I will add Charlene's family memories and history also. Also Stuart, the most recent owner's thoughts and memories that he shared on my Facebook page. Alrighty, so according to my research, the old Edwardian Villa was built around 1909, with Walter and Annie Taylor being the first owners. They were married in 1906 and had 2 children, Marjorie in 1908 and Gordon, who was born in the home in 1911. Both Walter and Annie died quite young at ages 47 and 51 respectively. After Annie passed away in 1928, the home was left to the children Marjorie and Walter. Walter, who was an accountant according to the street directories, lived here with his wife Madge until 1957, where a short-lived change in ownership took place when Marjorie Ann Jacobs, a married woman, had the home for only 3 years before it was then sold to the Cook family, with Ronald and Ella Mavis being named as the new owners. And as it turns out, Marjorie Ann Jacobs and the Cook family is indeed part of Charlene's family history and ties to this old home, which stayed in the family for 56 years. Okay, well, let's get into the explore, and as mentioned, the rest of the history is to come towards the end of the video. Hope you all enjoy. Cheers for watching. What's going on, guys? Alright, if I have uploaded these videos in succession, this is the one next door that I was referring to just then. Now this one definitely seems like it's in far more original condition than the neighbouring one, because take a look down here, guys. You can still see the beautiful old Victorian archway. Haven't been down there yet, but you can see that's the original back door, which would have led out into the wet rooms here, lean-to kitchen, and well, you can see the line of bricks here. That's drywall. That's the original part of the home. Yeah, this area was the lean-to. Obviously it's had a bit of a newer kitchen. usually tell by the oven, but yeah, this is the cottage with the solar panelled security surveillance camera in the front yard that's looking out towards the footpath. So we found a different way than past the camera, obviously. And that says asbestos under the slab. There you go. That's what they do. They come in and assess things before they rip the place down. This is the laundry. Again, that's an original part of the home. Probably was the old, might have been the old laundry and the loo all in one. So yeah, well, I know the residents. Just turn this light off. That residence. There's a couple of different townhouses in there. Now there's residents actually in there. Still, they're in the process of moving, as is a couple other up further. But there are units that side we'll explore next. Oh, here's the loo. The loo is definitely, it's a whole bathroom actually. They've kept the rustic old door, I like that. And the old door trims, well, similar. The old rustic door, could be the original. But they've given the bathroom a bit of a updated an update. Creaky old door, classic. Classic old rim lock. Now there's an old bakelite switch. An old 40s or 50s one, that one. Alright, let's go into the cottage. Now this is your classic 4-room symmetrical cottage, and as I said, we were just in the lean-to area. Now they're the original doors and door hardware. They're like a ceramic or porcelain. Oh, beautiful. Now, I don't live too far from this strip, and I used to drive past here, and the owner had a cool, I'm not sure what it was, but it was a yellow hot rod, or a yellow vintage car he had in the carport. You could always see the garage door open with that thing there. So hopefully he got compensated somewhat decently by the government to move out. But look at that, that's a typical Edwardian fire surround and fireplace with the mirror there. Federation and Edwardian being the same period here in Australia. Nice and echoey this room. They do have the fluoro light added there, no ceiling rose. These are quite large rooms actually. Now that's more of your traditional standard Victorian era. Those ones went well back into the 1800s. There's a little bit of natural light. Turn that off so you... They definitely would have had stained lead light in the door surround. It's been altered. Oh, this one's got the beautiful old ceiling roof still. Wow, and the cornicing. Keys in the door there. And another beautiful fireplace. Now I do recall of one of my viewers letting me know about, it was either this cottage or one of the ones next to it, that it used to be in their family, and that I think it was their granddad passed away in one of these front rooms. Now I'll try and find that comment again. I did keep it somewhere, and I'll try and piece that together. Well, I think this is a pretty good point in the video to now get into the history that Charlene has kindly provided, as this is indeed the home and the room that I was just referring to in the video, trying to recall the initial message Charlene sent to me back in February of 2022. A year on from that, I had filmed the home, and as already mentioned, I was able to speak directly to her and her family members, including her mother, who was raised in the home with her two brothers. They were there that day to say goodbye to the old home, and Charlene's mother was clearly saddened while looking on at the old place, thinking about her parents and growing up there with them. A few months on from talking to them, the home was demolished, but luckily the family was able to ask the demo crew to save the Farnborough home sign from the front veranda, which is a very fitting physical reminder to be able to keep as a memorial of the old villa. Charlene was able to send me a nicely detailed description of her family's timeline and the memories of her family home to be able to give a very fitting tribute to the home in this video. Here are those details as written by Charlene. The house was originally purchased by Nana's sister Marjorie in 1957, along with the vacant block next door. She initially bought the house for her mother after the small cottage unit she was renting on North Terrace was sold. After moving into the newly purchased home in Glandore, she invited her grandparents and their 3 children to join her. The kids being my mother and her twin brother, who were 11, and their younger brother, who was 7. The family name was Cook, and the Cooks already owned their own cottage at the time in Kensington, but needed more room for their growing family, and 622 South Road Glandore was perfect, as it was close to Black Forest School and their friends. The vacant block next door was utilised to grow vegetables and have chooks. When my great-grandmother passed away here in the house, my grandparents purchased the home from Nana's sister Marjorie, and were still able to use the vacant block also. Me and my brother used to visit Nana and Pop and remember playing cricket and making cubby houses in the vacant block, also helping them to look after the chooks. My dear grandfather passed away in the front room of the home in 1986. He was a World War II returned soldier, and sadly he suffered from severe PTSD and spent most his nights walking the streets of Glandore to clear his head from the war. When he passed away, Nana stayed in the house and I spent all of my summer school holidays here with her. I would sleep in the room closest to the kitchen looking out to the driveway. I remember very cold nights in winter, but Nana used to give us extra blankets to keep us warm. And in the summer, Nana would give us ice blocks to stay cool. At night in summer, it was just right due to the 14-foot ceilings. Us kids always felt safe in the home and would fall asleep no worries. It was a very peaceful home with much love and happiness. From Nana, I also learnt to tie my shoelaces in the front room of the home. The old radiogram and TV sets seen in one of the real estate photos were the family's, and they were left there behind after Nana moved out with my parents in the early 2000s, and then into residential care years later, where she lived on to the ripe old age of 97. My brother stayed in the home for several years while he studied at university. When he moved out in 2010, my uncle restored the roofing, painted throughout and replaced the electrical work to get ready for the house to be sold. The house was purchased by a school teacher who loved the history of the property. He didn't renovate the house, just added a new kitchen and shed as he respected and loved the charm of the place. So many nice and happy memories at 622 South Road, Glandore for many of us. Urbex Indigo, I hope this helps you for when you do your upload. Cheers, Charlie. Well, Charlie, it has certainly helped bring this old gem alive, and I'm sure many of my viewers can relate to the many details you have shared that makes a house become a home and part of the family and family history. As for the teacher Charlene referred to, that is indeed Stuart, who I have mentioned earlier in the video, the most recent owner who purchased it in 2013. Stuart was also kind enough to share his thoughts and photos on my Facebook post, stating that he was never even contemplating bulldozing the home, as he loved the old charm and it fit in so well with all the other old homes in the streets of Glandore. He did replace the back kitchen area, as the old corrugated tin roof over it made it unbearable in summer, which is understandable. Stuart did also confirm with this photo that he had not one, but two of these old yellow vintage cars that I used to see in the garage door while driving past. Like all of the other Glandore residents that had to give up their home, he would be still happily living there, enjoying it for many years to come. Stuart also thanked me for taking an interest in his former home and documenting what I could. And to that I say it is totally my pleasure, and I'm glad I could help to send this home off with a great tribute. Well, there is still a portion of the Explore yet to see, guys, so let's get back into it, and I will add a little bit more in the outro of the video. Alright, and that leaves one other front room here. Yeah, they would have had stained lead light up there for sure. Wow. It's a cool light too. These things surely will be salvaged. There's the controls to the air conditioner. Now, just see if I can draw the blind. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I was going to say I'm going to draw the blind, but I better not, because that camera's kind of looking that way. Now you can see the stand there behind that barbecue. There's a stand. And up there, guys, it's pointed straight out towards the driveway of this home and the footpath there. And it's got a blue light on it, ready to sound if someone activates it, I'm assuming. But you know, look, these homes are a part of this road's history. They're going to be knocked down. Okay, they're fenced off and there's a camera there, but all we're doing, like, is documenting these homes. And one day, someone will look back at this footage and photos and say, you know what, I'm glad someone actually took the time to go in and show us what those homes look like. And that is included with relatives who get on Ancestry.com and look up former addresses of their relatives. And obviously, these days with Google, if you label something with an address, it'll come up. And eventually, when these homes are gone, they will be catalogued with the addresses, so people can look them up. Yeah. So we're not here to like damage anything, just document. So we'll go outside for a look, try not to disturb anything. Alright guys, so the shed is open, but absolutely bare. Now, as I mentioned just before, the previous owner had like a vintage car, like it was a yellow one. I'm not sure what it was. It wasn't like a huge muscle car, but you could tell it was a vintage car. I'm not good with cars. I wish I could explain it a little bit better. But yeah, this is a pretty new shed. Hopefully they dismantle it and save save it and reuse it somewhere. Yep. But there's the back of the cottage, as we just saw as well. I'm not going to go waving the camera too close because those windows lead into where the residents are still staying. But we'll head back inside to close out the video. Well guys and gals, that is it for this one. So I really hope that you all enjoyed this one as a nice tribute and a send-off to a much loved family home. It's not often at all that I ever get to talk with the previous owners of these old homes. So a big thanks goes out to Charlene and Stuart for sharing all the memories and the love they had for this old gem. One of the many gems of Glandore that is now gone forever, but never forgotten. Thanks for watching, and as I always say, on to the next one, and I will see you all in the next video. Alright guys, cheers, bye.